Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Saltwater and Smoke podcast as Laura and I continue on with our WTF Wednesday series, episode 12.
Wow.
Woohoo!
Wow, 12.
12 weeks. On and off a little, but
Yeah.
12 weeks nonetheless, right? So today I think we're going to dive into some Texas toast,
Oh, yeah.
some ice ghost,
Oh, yeah.
and the disappearing state. Yep, that's the title, guys. And,
Good title.
yeah.
No, I like it.
Right. What are we at here? July 9?
Yeah.
We're at July 9. And it's time to get rolling, guys.
It
Here
is.
we go.
Yep. Hot toddy today, man.
Grand Marnier. Chalk it up.
Mm.
Oh! Love it, love it, love it. So, we're still not scripted, still not polished, still not sorry.
Still working with notes.
Still not sorry.
Uh-huh.
Okay? We've got a lot probably to unpack in the chaos of this country.
Yeah.
And we'll do the best we can in the time we have. And, you know, sometimes we go off the rails. Well, lots of times. And that's okay.
And we will again.
Because, again, if you're paying attention to when we go off the rails, you're worried about the wrong thing. I keep telling you that. Okay. So, what we would like to dive into first, or how the hell is your week going?
Wow, it sucked. How was yours?
It sucks. Okay, great. That's half full.
Yeah.
Half
Actually,
empty?
I had a great time in Cuddy Hunk. Went to go visit my husband.
Yep.
Had a great time, but damn, is it hot.
It is hot.
It is so hot. It is like blisteringly hot out there. So if you see some crazy woman walking down the street with an umbrella in the bright sunshine, that's me. That's me, because you know what? It's too hot for a hat. I sweat. I'm using my umbrella.
And speaking of hot, let me just say this.
Yeah.
It gets hot every year. Yeah, every year it gets hot. Not a surprise. Happens.
Nope.
Seasons change
Yeah,
wherever you live.
They do.
Some stay warm, some are colder, but it still gets hot, right?
It does.
So why are we still leaving babies in cars, in hot cars,
Oh
guys?
no.
Yes, we still are doing that.
No.
So in California, we've got a 20-year-old,
Wow.
right, who left, I think, a 1 and a 2-year-old in the car while she went into the med spa to get some, you know, injections. Hey, guys, let me tell
20
you,
years old?
I need them. I mean, look, I'm just having an issue with trying to put a needle in my face to get rid of my wrinkles. God, I'm even dealing with grays right now.
20 years
Whew.
old?
And I don't want to get old either,
And
guys.
she got two
Like
babies?
20. Doesn't matter. She's 20.
No,
She got a
I'm just
1-year-old
saying,
and a 2-year-old,
and
I
she got
believe.
the money to go to the med spa, though. It's just like,
She put him in the car.
Just trying to figure that one out.
She put them in the car.
Yeah.
In their car seats. She said they had milk, juice, snacks, I believe. And she propped her phone up so they could watch TV.
1 and 2?
Mhm. And so one of them did not make it. She went out there
The 1-year-old?
to check on the babies, and one was, I think, convulsing or something of that sort. The other one looked like it was having a stroke. And anyway, one did not survive. The other one, I believe, is still in critical condition. 20 years old, though. 20 years old, 2 kids, California, in the car, in the med spa, left snacks. What don't we know about leaving anyone in a car? It was between 99 and 102 degrees, somewhere around that time. They were in the car for an hour and a half.
Oh, my God.
Oh
my God.
And
She's 20. She don't know shit.
the baby's temperature at the hospital was 107. So, guys, it's hot. It's always goddamn hot at some point in the year. Listen, if you can't go, don't go. If you don't have a babysitter, don't go. Okay? You can't leave your kid, your animals in the car, cracking the window, leaving them in there for hours, no water, no
crack
nothing.
isn't going to help.
It's not going to help. You don't leave children in a car. Let me tell you something. When I pull up to a gas station, that's where I see it happen a lot. Pull up to a gas station, they leave their kids in the car, they leave their gas, they leave the kid in the car at the pump, and then they go and they run in the store while they. And I'm like, okay, so you don't think anybody's going to steal it because you're at the pump, but
Yeah.
baby's probably not going to die because you'll be in there like
No.
5 minutes. No, you know what? They could steal your car. They could hit your car. Somebody
Right.
could smash into your car. Your kid
Exactly.
could die that way. Like, it's like, what the fuck? What the fuck? What the
Yeah.
fuck is right? Like,
No.
guys, come on,
No.
right? We don't leave kids in cars. And then today I read that a guy in Georgia, when I was in Georgia, actually, in Cobb County, went to jail, got a life sentence, I might add,
Ooh.
for his child, his 22-month-old that he left in the car.
Yep.
Right? How about it got overturned? And like 10 years ago. And yeah, now he's out. So he only had to do a 10-year sentence. His conviction got overturned because it was something about...
It was
something about... No, wasn't it? Yeah, okay. It was something about the testimonies and the information, the evidence was...
He didn't leave the baby in the car?
He did leave the baby in the car. No, all of that stayed the same. Oh, and he was also... Okay. He was sentenced to life, but then in an additional 32 years for all the child pornography and sex stuff that he had.
He's white?
Come on. This is
wealthy?
This is like a white guy thing right
he's
here.
a very white,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, he was very
yeah.
white. Anyway, I just read today that he just got let out. His sentence is done. He only had to do 10 years after that.
Well, Trump is president.
But my God, yeah. So they've still got him on.
Epstein Trump.
Oh, Epstein. The files. Oh, wait, there are no files.
We'll talk about it.
Wait, we're not even there yet.
We'll talk about
Anyway, I had to jump on that because you mentioned the heat.
Yeah.
And I just thought,
oh my God, I did not see that.
I can't believe we're still doing this. I can't believe we're still leaving babies in cars. I don't understand.
I can't either. Yeah. Doesn't matter how effed up the government is. Take care of your home front, man. Take care of your home front. So when we do get things straightened out, you actually have kids. Could we do that, please?
So now you're going to jail, and your other baby won't have a mom. So there's that.
So you lost everything because you wanted to go to the med spa.
Because you wanted to go to the med spa.
Right. You weren't thinking.
She did ask the girl at the med spa. She asked the nurse at the med spa if the kids could come inside, and the lady said sure, but they would have to stay in the waiting room because you can't have children in those areas. And so she left them in the car. Mm-hmm.
But why not bring them in the waiting room?
Because she wouldn't have been in there, and they were 1 and 2, and who was going to watch them? I'm saying this is probably what the thought was, right? Leave them in the car. Yeah, no. So there it is.
Leave. Come back another day when you got a babysitter.
She left the air conditioner on. It was on 60. She left the car running and the air conditioner on. And according to, I think it was Toyota, chimed in and said, yeah, well, the car shuts off after an hour. So.
Oh, does it really?
Automatically. I can tell you my Cadillac shuts off. I sat in my car having a conversation and it was just running.
Wow. Yeah.
When I was in DC with Ross. And we just sitting outside. We're sitting outside the Airbnb, just sitting in the car shooting the shit. And it was like, I was like, wow. I was like, damn. Yeah, so it automatically shut off. It's like, no, we're not running for anything.
Which is a safety feature, right?
So I just...
Unless you leave your damn kids in there unattended. You know? Oh my.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, we're still doing this. We're still leaving babies in cars. And it won't be. The summer's just started. Shit isn't even that hot in Cali for the most part. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Don't do it, dumbasses.
Poor baby.
Yes, and now your life is over and the other kid will never have his friend. You know, it's just, it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. So that's the heat tragedy.
Oh my God.
Right off top. Again, not scripted. Just thought about it.
Damn, did not know.
So, can we talk about Texas? Good old fucking Texas.
Texas is a mess. All them babies. They got a lot of dead babies right now in Texas.
A lot of people are planning funerals for their babies.
Bless those babies and their families. Oh my God.
In these summer camps.
This is awful. Why you got summer camps? And by the way, on a river that's known to flood every year. It's not every 100 years. No, it's every damn year. Why? Why?
Well, why?
Yeah.
Can children not have cell phones? In summer camp.
Well, some of them are 8 years old. They probably don't even have cell phones.
Most of them probably do. But in a case of emergency.
My kids didn't.
I know that for the school, for 8th graders, went on a field trip, couldn't have cell phones. And I'm like, so you got to get a teacher to call your mom because they don't want you. You know, it's like, I don't know that I would send my kid away without a phone. Like, I don't know.
It's your only contact.
It's your only contact. We live different lives. We don't have house phones.
Life is different.
It's different. But the tragedy, and you know how much I hate Texas. But I don't wish this on anyone.
No.
Children. Anyone dying. Like, this is horrible, right? Okay, but here we are. Government.
Yeah.
Firing. Laying off over 600 freaking national weather employees. Yes. During peak storm season.
Yeah. And you got Carolyn Levitt, the fake, Taco Barbie there, standing up there saying, this wasn't his fault. This wasn't the president's fault. It wasn't his fault. Yeah, it was. Just saying.
You know who else's fault it is? Fucking Governor Abbott.
Oh.
Okay?
Abbott.
Why somebody hasn't wheeled your ass in that chair off a fucking cliff and it just happened to be an accident? I don't know how he's still around.
So we don't endorse that. We don't endorse that. We don't endorse that. We don't endorse that. Okay. No, she doesn't, because
he's a horrible person.
He is a horrible person.
Been a horrible person.
Yeah.
He's going to continue to be a horrible person.
He is a horrible person.
I mean, remember with the grids and the people were
Oh
freezing
my God,
and dying.
yeah.
And dude, you don't care about your people. You've never cared about
No.
Texas. You don't care about these people. Like, the billions of dollars supposedly in surplus like Texas does not. They do not.
That's why I don't
take
understand.
care of this shit.
That's why I don't understand.
And why would you take care of this, like, in these low-level areas, right, all around the Gulf Coast? Like, why would you do that, right? Because it's all these people that are dying. Like, you don't give two shits about these families.
Nope.
This stuff doesn't happen in your little communities. This doesn't happen over there.
No.
They just don't give a shit over there. They
don't.
sent out alerts. They did the best that they could. There was nothing else that they could do.
Except-
My God.
except-
They don't have the meters out there.
No,
they
they
won't
don't.
build anything out there. They know this shit's going to happen here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like having a dry mouth in the desert. Damn it, if you're out there long enough, your mouth is going to get dry because you're in a fucking desert.
You are, and it's gonna happen.
That's what's going to happen.
It is.
When you're in places like this, you're going to flood. This shit's going to happen and sweep their asses out of there.
Yep.
Children upon children upon children.
Yep.
What's it? 100? Here's the thing. They said 109 people confirmed dead, like a dozen missing. Now it's like 170 missing?
Yeah, it keeps going up.
What?
I don't know why the number keeps going up of the missing. I don't understand that.
It's just going on and on and on. And Abbott just, sits his ass out there. Yeah, I said it. And continues this mess. This constant garbage that comes out of his mouth every freaking time. There's something going on in that state. When I see his face on that screen, I can't. I can't do it, man. You're horrible, and you treat people horrible in that state.
So, but let's narrow it down a little bit because this is in Kerr County, Kerr, Kerr County. Okay, maybe they don't pronounce it that way. We do in this area, Kerr. Okay, so most of the dead and the missing are in that county. Okay, so there is a town upriver, all right, who got the same warnings. The difference is that they took them seriously the first warnings, and they evacuated their elderly, okay, and they evacuated away from the river, and nobody died.
Right.
Nobody's missing,
Right.
and nobody died, okay? 8 years ago, in the same area, there was a devastating flood again. And so they thought about having a better warning system. Okay? So
those thoughts can be with your thoughts.
and I'm going to read it. It says, officials in Kerr County debated whether more needed to be done to build a warning system along the banks of the Guadalupe River. A series of summer camps along the river were often packed with children. For years, local officials kept them safe with a word-of-mouth system, except when that guy that actually disseminated the word-of-mouth took an early buyout from Trump. That's another story. Okay, so local officials kept them safe with word-of-mouth. When floodwaters started raging, upriver camp leaders warned those downriver of the water surge coming their way. But was that enough? It's not enough, okay? They considered supplementing the system. They did all of this 8 years ago, and they decided, we're okay.
We're okay.
We're okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we're okay.
Let's plan for those 109 funerals right now.
So they had another flooding
counting.
in 2020. They had one in 2021. All right, and now they're devastated. They're absolutely devastated. This is horrible. And whenever babies get hurt because of adult negligence, we should all be ashamed. We should all be ashamed. Okay? And I think that Texas, who, as by the way, I had no idea they have a surplus in their state. They have a surplus and they're still taking freaking federal government money that we blue states give to the federal government. They're still getting supplemented. I think that's bullshit, by the way. That's another story. There are so many other stories. I'm just saying. So,
I mean, these people, these are the people, you know, the weather service people, these are the ones who send out the
right.
alerts, they issue the storm warnings, they track hurricanes, you know, all to keep your community safe. They can only do with what they have information on, you know, with the radars and all. You know, I'm not a meteorologist, you know, I just listen to Al Roker. Like, that was my life. Okay, that was my life.
Is he still working?
Yeah, actually is.
Yeah.
And so they can't get everything right because it's one of those things, right? It looks like it's coming and then, oh shit, right? So you prepare, you do what you can, right? But in places like this, you've got to do more. There are reasons why in California, Newsom has like the fire monitors or whatever, you know, like in places that are extra dry and all. I mean, there are other things you can do. You can't do it all. You can't save everyone.
Right.
I understand. But there are things that you can put in place
Right.
to prevent the 109
The loss of life.
the highest loss of life, right?
You can't stop the devastation, but you can stop the loss.
But
of
why
life.
is the government, it feels like, intentionally choosing not to protect people,
Yeah.
you know, in vulnerable areas?
Do you really want to know?
Okay, I mean,
Do you really want to know?
when it's like they're not gonna do shit about this,
Nope.
and the reason I don't think they'll ever do shit about this or make anything happen here, we'll do everything, we'll change it out. Yeah, it doesn't matter now, guys. It doesn't matter.
Their kids aren't going to those
Their
camps.
kids. Okay, damn right they're not. And here's the other thing. If and I always go back to this, if Sandy Hook didn't change the gun laws, if those first grade babies getting killed in Connecticut didn't change the gun law,
Yeah.
nothing will.
Nothing will.
I don't care how many school shootings there are.
Because money's more important.
I don't. Ever since then, it's like if that didn't change the gun, it didn't change your heart about the gun laws and your rights and all this bullshit. Nothing's the gun laws is like la 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 la.
Your soul
I don't
is
want to
dead.
fucking hear it.
Your soul is dead.
I don't want to hear
And
it.
you're going to have to answer to that.
You know, I don't want to hear
Your
it
soul
because
is dead.
so they're not going to do shit about
No.
this. They're not going to do shit about this. Shit, Texas didn't do shit about Uvalde. I mean, all those kids getting killed in there while the cops sat in the hallway, like
Sat in the hallway because they didn't want to get
They were
hurt.
like, I don't want to die.
I don't
What?
wanna
I'm a
die.
cop. I don't want to put
All
my
right.
life on the
Yeah.
line.
Yeah.
Really? I think that's your job.
Apparently
I think
not.
that is your job.
Not in Texas.
No, not in Texas,
Not in
right?
Texas.
But what help did they get in that area? They didn't, right? Because that's a different area. Remember all the kids that died in Uvalde, Texas?
Yeah, the brown children?
You know, those little brown kids?
Little
yeah,
brown kids.
Didn't give shit.
Nope.
Okay? And I'm not saying that was the case here.
No.
But the area
We
was
don't
the
know
case.
about the kids.
But the area was the case.
Yeah, the area is the
It's
case.
a very vulnerable place.
It's a very vulnerable
They didn't
area.
give a shit. They didn't give a
It's
shit.
prone. It's actually called Flash Flood Alley.
Yep.
Okay? There
Yep.
should not be camps on that damn river.
All right. So we're going back to Katrina-ish mentalities.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what's happening.
Yeah.
That's what's happening here because right on the heels of that, Trump's going to phase out FEMA. Great.
Yeah, he absolutely is.
Great. Give it to the states. See
Give it
how
to
that
the
worked?
states.
You want to see how that worked? Because when Katrina was happening, that's what Bush was doing. Yep, the states the mayor, they're all gonna get it together, and then we're gonna come in and we're gonna help. Yeah, that didn't work, guys, because they're not capable. The states are not capable. We have disaster agencies for reasons, because they're disasters and they're big ones.
They are.
And does FEMA maybe need to be streamlined and the money and the supplements and the way things go out? Sure. We're not here to discuss that part. We're just here to say, fucking people need help. Give them help.
Yeah.
People don't need to be dying on roofs and floating down rivers and the sisters in this that they found handheld together
Yeah.
dead. My God. I mean, but you know how much I love Texas. Not saying it can't happen in other places, but Jesus Christ.
And it will at this point because our climate is so unstable and it is.
These storms are worse, getting worse.
Yeah, they are.
Everything's getting worse in the
Everything's getting
climate,
worse.
guys. Everything's changing.
Yeah.
Everything's
Because
changing.
money trumps everything.
For lack
money,
of a better term.
Well, it's true. Money trumps everything. Why hasn't anything been done on climate change? Money. The right people got bought off. Okay, why hasn't anything been done, okay, really significantly besides the ACA with healthcare? Money in the insurance industry. All right, the right people got bought off. All right, why, okay, are we going through this hell right now with this buffoon, the Mad King, Dementia Don? Why are we going through this? Because the right people got paid off.
That's right.
All right? Capitalism has destroyed this country because capitalism is great if it's balanced.
And when it's balanced, it's amazing. I'm all for capitalism.
So
guys.
am I. And Franklin Roosevelt balanced it. He did. The New Deal, okay, 1933 or around thereabouts. The New Deal, capitalism, balanced things out. The little guy who didn't have a shot in hell at making any money got a safety net. Things started working towards up from the 1930s, World War II, blah, blah, blah. We do this, right? We're taking care of our people. Nobody hated the New Deal more than Republicans. They have done nothing but try to destroy it since it happened. And you know what? They're finally doing it, people. They're finally destroying the New Deal. And if you're, and I say this every week, if you're not paying attention, you need to pay attention.
Pay attention.
You need to pay attention. You cannot just be a bystander. You can't be a bystander. Our country, we're losing our country. We're losing our country. You cannot be a bystander. Okay? Even Governor Abbott, who's the biggest piece of shit going, all right, and is sitting there going, well, I haven't heard from Trump, but I don't know if we're getting the money or not. Well, you know what? Use some of that freaking money you've got sitting in the bank that you're not using on education, that you're not using on warning systems, that you're not using to give your kids free lunch. How about you use some of that excess money you have and do something about what happened with all these people? Because according to what's going on with our government right now and the Heritage Foundation, they are working towards giving you block grants and saying, here's your money, do what you want with it.
That's exactly right. They want to do that. Yes, I did say that. Yes. They want to do that. And the thing about it is, state level responses are not enough for disasters. They're just not enough, right? You need FEMA for large scale disasters, because without it, you're on your own. You're on your own. And guess what, guys? It's only going to happen. It's coming.
Well, the thing is,
to a city near you.
If we don't need the federal government for anything, then why even be part of the United States?
Why bother?
Why bother? And why give them a freaking tax money? Don't get me started on that shit. Because I'm right now saying we should boycott giving the federal government any tax money, because all they're trying to do is keep our money, take more money, and give us nothing. Give us nothing. If you do not give us services for our money, you shouldn't get our damn money.
No.
Right?
No.
You shouldn't get our money.
Right.
So we're giving you money for something. What, for the military? We don't give a shit. Are you kidding?
Who's getting more money right now?
Oh my God, ICE.
ICE. 170 billion.
ICE.
Billion.
More than the FBI.
More than the FBI.
More than the military. Honest to God.
Yep. Massive amount
Massive
of
money.
The biggest in history, guys.
For what? For a bunch of two-pit assholes who are being hired off the street, who have absolutely no qualifications. I'm not talking the guys who were there before this happened. I'm talking the guys being hired now. The guys who, I don't know, former J6s. Is that why they keep covering their faces so we won't recognize them?
Right.
Is that it? So we can't run facial recognition on their asses because they probably have criminal records? You can't hire enough people for that. You've got FBI being taken out to work with ICE.
Yep.
They're thrilled, let me just tell you. Yeah, I just heard a former FBI agent who resigned because they basically, Kash Patel told him to get out because he's friends with Peter Strzok. They just found out that he's friends with Peter Strzok.
Oh my God.
So apparently now that disqualifies him of being an actual FBI agent, okay, who's really good at his job. He's a veteran. And because he has a friend that they don't like, okay, he loses his job. He's expecting a baby this summer, by the way. Little boy. I just saw him. Yeah. And Michael Feinberg is his name. And it is, these people are horrible.
There's a lot of concern about ICE, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of concern about ICE becoming a...
Go ahead, say it.
Should I say it?
You should say it. Your brother will be pissed if we don't. You better say it.
Federal
National
Federal
Police
National
Force.
Police Force. National Police Force. That's what it was.
Yep, a
National
Police
Police Force. And people are. They say ICE is becoming a federal force with power.
Yep.
Okay. They've got enough money to hire 10,000 new agents. 100,000 detention beds. Well, they're going to open those up.
That's more than the immigrants we have in the damn country.
And carry out mass raids and deportations.
Yeah.
So this is no longer border control.
Nope.
Not
This
that it
is
really
not
ever
border
was in
control.
a fucking way.
No.
Okay.
No.
And they're aiming to deport over 1 million people a year.
I don't know how they can do that unless they start deporting Americans.
Okay.
It's the only way, because as someone who knows said, there are 65 million actual Hispanics in this country, and American Hispanics in this country, and that's the number that they keep throwing around of deporting 65 million Hispanics. Okay. The only way for them to do that is to deport Americans, because this is really about the browning of America and their fragile snowflake white asses. That's what this is about.
Exactly what this is about.
This is
That is
exactly what this is about.
What this is
Yeah.
about. That is it in a nutshell. We could have ended on that. That is really it. That is really it in a nutshell.
Yeah.
But
That's why we're going through all this out.
This unmasked, this mess of being masked. This is like
Klan shit.
It is, and they're talking about it every day, because people have already been arrested for impersonating police.
Yep.
People are taking this to the next level. People that have records or whatever are
Criminals.
going out masked. Criminals are going out with a mask
Yep.
and in gear and going out and snatching people up. Right? I watched yesterday them pull a girl like off a damn tree. She was a freaking vendor in a food truck.
Yep.
And they pulled her ass. She was hugging the tree, like literally a tree hugger. I guess I don't know. Anyway, fuck it. I know it's not the same, but
It's not the
hugging the
same.
tree,
Yeah.
hugging the tree, and pulled her off like screaming, and it was like, for fucking what?
Yeah.
For what? Because you think she's somebody that doesn't belong here? You don't even
You don't
know.
even know. You're not
You
asking.
know? Just because you're selling pastelillos doesn't mean you don't belong in this country, guys.
Exactly.
Okay, Jesus Christ, like, so the fact that they've created now a situation where criminals are like, yes,
Yes.
are you kidding me?
Criminals.
Here they come.
Yeah.
You come to get me? Yeah, you're gonna fight. I don't know who the hell you are.
Criminals are
I do
smarter
not-
than these dumbasses. That's
I
the whole
do not
point.
know who you are.
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
If you can't tell who's arresting you, you cannot protect yourself.
Oh, and one of them's gonna get shot, and
Okay.
I'd love to see this in court, because all the person who shoots them is gonna have to say they didn't show any ID, they were masked. How did I was in fear of my life. That is the excuse they use for shooting every black teenager, 10-year-old.
Stand your ground.
Stand your ground bullshit in this whole country. You think it's not gonna work?
Right.
You're damn right it's gonna work, and you better hope that under that mask you're white, because if you're not,
And you come after me with a mask, and I am going to shoot you, and I hope George Zimmerman is under that mask. Because you shouldn't still be alive.
I don't even know if he is.
Oh, he's alive.
When's the last time we
Oh,
heard
he's
from him?
alive, and he's out there. He's out there still
Doing
talking. He's
what?
out there. He's out there, and he's still talking.
he's
So
good.
trust me when I tell you. Like, I don't know. Hey, black people, I'm not even sure. I'm sure somebody had nothing to lose out there. Somebody could have took his ass out for Trayvon here. Somebody could have. That son of a bitch
No.
shouldn't even be walking.
No.
Okay? But this is the shit we're talking about.
Yeah, it
Right?
is.
This whole, we're going to go ahead and get him. Okay. People are going to get hurt, guys. People are going to get hurt.
Yeah.
Okay? Because it erodes civil rights. It spreads fear.
We
It
don't have
violates the
those.
basic idea of accountability in a democracy. You cannot just go out in a mask and just scoop people up off the fucking street. And that is where we are.
That is where we
If
are.
that doesn't scare you, fuck, I don't know what will.
So Donald Trump had this why does he have cabinet meetings, by the way?
To talk about the fucking
In front of the press, because that just
15 minutes about the gold.
the gold
love the
leaf on
wallpaper
the
and you
ceiling.
like the leaves.
Yeah, it is. So, the Mad King Dementia Donnie. That's my new name. I like it. You like it?
Sorry for all you that really have dementia.
I am sorry. I am sorry.
My kids think I'm borderline.
But he does. And all you have to do is watch what happened yesterday. Okay? And and they're going after Joe.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? So that's... Anyway, a reporter asked about... oh, shit. I got sidetracked because I Dementia Donnie Hill thing.
Oh, because you're talking about dementia Dawn.
There goes my
And
dementia.
Joe.
Right? So, What the hell did they ask? I really did. I went off the tracks on that.
What's
I
the hot toddy, guys?
I
What's in the
know,
hot
right? What's
toddy,
in the
guys?
hot toddy? It's bourbon.
It's bourbon.
It's bourbon and tea and honey, and
Bourbon.
my throat is very happy with it. My throat is very happy.
They need
with
to leave. They need to leave Joe alone.
Well, they do need to leave Joe alone, but
Joe has his own fucking life and
he does
to deal with.
But they're not leaving him alone. They're not leaving him alone.
Okay.
No. So again, yes, they asked Dementia Dawn 2 things yesterday. One was about the Epstein files.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, something about the Epstein files.
This shit's blowing up in their face. This is
It's
blowing up in
really
their
blowing
face.
up, right?
Woo-hoo.
And he says, everything that's going on, you're still talking about Epstein?
Why are we still talking about
Why are we
Epstein?
still talking
This is the
about
guy who's still
Epstein?
talking about the 2020 election, by the way, guys.
Yeah.
That guy.
Yeah, that guy, right? And so that kind of blew up in his face right there. And so of course he went after the reporter, right? And telling the reporter that she wasn't going to have her job for long or something like that.
Yeah.
Some kind of stupid shit. And then he was asked about arms for Ukraine because he decided that he was going to now send arms to Ukraine.
Oh, I know. And Vladimir Putin. What you out there doing with your little tank top?
Yeah.
You out there just trying to
Please.
figure it out.
So he's going to send arms to Ukraine, and so the reporter had the audacity to ask, "Why did you stop? Who stopped the?"
Oh, you mean when he said, "I didn't know we stopped."
Yeah, that part when he said, "I don't know who stopped," and then they said, "Well, who said to stop the? Who said to
He's
stop
like,
the
"I didn't know they
shipments?
stopped."
Who said to stop the shipments?" And then he got nasty. And he said, "Well, why don't you tell me who said to stop?" He knows. Yeah, he knows it's Hegseth. And then he was asked another question, and he asked Hegseth, "Do you know about that?" And Hegseth said, "Well, maybe you should ask John." And so I'm telling you, it's on video.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes, it was.
And so Trump tells the reporter, "Well, you should ask John." And it's just like, and I'm thinking, who the hell's John? I don't know who John. Who's John? All right. So. This is our
This guy. I'm
yeah,
telling you, man.
our
Jesus
demented president. Yeah, that's not what I was gonna ask. None of that was what I was gonna say. I completely lost it. So I'm being very honest.
Medication for that.
I'm being
Did
very
you see
honest.
the picture though? He was showing people in the White House, and then there's the picture. There's a picture of him between. Oh my God, who is it between? Two obviously presidents, two very prominent presidents. Anyway, the picture of him is. With the blood dripping down from the assassination plot.
Oh my God!
With the flag behind
the
it.
fake assassination plot.
Yeah, the fake assassination
Fake.
plot.
That was set up. It was a complete freaking setup.
Complete setup.
Complete setup. No one tried to kill his ass, and people died. Okay, for this farce.
Yep.
People died for this farce. Okay.
Yep.
The person who took the shot, that only shot the person in the audience. Okay, and then somebody shot him. All right.
Yep.
No.
He's
no.
right there, guys.
Nobody shot.
He's right there, guys.
Someone made a really good point. Okay. Cartilage doesn't grow back. Cartilage doesn't grow back. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't grow back. If he got shot in the ear, there would still be something. And he wore freaking Kotex on his ear. That's just
He probably had a
something.
little button right here that when it pops, the red blood comes out.
Yeah,
And you go,
exactly. Exactly.
You would probably buy that at Spencer's.
Because when he hit the ground, he came up with the blood. Okay, he came up with the blood, and it was fake ass blood.
And
it
they
wasn't
never
even
supposed to
real.
let him up either, by the
No,
way. That's not how
and
that
they
works.
were like, no, it was a whole setup. The whole thing was a setup. Now, I am not a conspiracy theorist unless I like it, unless it's a good one. All right, because I'm not gonna say I never go for it, because I go for it. And this was, absolutely hands down the fakest assassination attempt in the universe.
When I hear them say assassination, I'm like, God.
It was not an assassination attempt. And you know how we know it wasn't an assassination
If it was a
attempt?
real assassination, it might have worked.
No. Do you know how we know it was a real one? He doesn't talk about it.
Oh,
He doesn't talk about it.
that's right.
He doesn't talk about how brave he was and how he survived the attempt on his life.
Right.
He doesn't talk about it.
Right.
You know why he doesn't talk about it? Because it didn't
It's a
happen.
big goddamn scam.
Because he doesn't want to bring more attention onto it unless he can make money off of it.
That's right.
All right, which is what he has done. Made tons of money off of it. So we are in the throes of an authoritarian takeover.
Yes.
He is a mad king.
Yes.
All right, and he has been aided and abetted every which way. And he will never be, I honestly thought I had like this weird, right? Really, I know what's going to happen. He's going to get into office within the first year. They're going to 25th Amendment him, and they're going to take him out, and J.D. Jucket was going to take over. All right, and yes, he is a Jucket,
and he's the worst.
And everyone in this area of the country knows. Well, all right, how about Massachusetts knows what a Jucket is?
I thought that came from Dad, because that was the only time I'd ever heard it. When
Jucket?
the Ellises moved in the neighborhood.
Wow, because you know what a Jucket is?
I think it's like a poor hill, but it's like Lot 32.
It's a hillbilly.
Lot 32.
It's actually a hillbilly from Freetown.
A hillbilly
it's
from
actually,
Freetown?
If you look it up.
All
right? And that's why Dad used it.
I think our stepdaddy
from
Freetown watching this.
All right. So, yeah, I'm just saying,
your favorite dog.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm just saying, hillbillies from Freetown would call Juckets. So
that's what my dad called folks.
And J.D. Vance fits right into that category. He's a Jucket. That's what he is, and that's my new name for him, J.D. Jucket.
But he's a Jucket with eyeliner.
Well, it does bring out his eyes.
It does.
It does.
I haven't worn eyeliner since I was like 17.
See,
it's like 87.
I still wear eyeliner.
That's all right.
But, you know.
It's all right. I just can't put anything on my eyes, guys.
So, J.D. Jucket. So anyway,
we are in the throes of authority.
We are.
Yes.
We are. Yes, and I really thought that we were going to be saved.
Yeah.
I thought we were going to be saved, right? I thought that this cabinet would finally do what they should have done the first time around.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
The problem is that he is such a useful idiot.
Yes.
Okay? He's such a useful idiot.
That is exactly right.
J.D. Vance may not be that as much of a useful idiot.
I don't think he is.
And J.D. Vance would never get the backing of MAGA. Because he wouldn't. Only Trump gets the backing of MAGA. I don't, because they're also Juckets. All right, but yes, deplorables, as Hillary would say. All right, the deplorables who are about to lose all of their Medicaid and SNAP benefits, and the dumbasses, which I did not know this.
Stay out of the EBT stores because you won't be getting it.
You won't be getting it. What I did not know.
Sorry about that, Billy Bob.
Is that not all states call it Medicaid. That different states have different names for the same program.
Right.
All right. So these people in these southern states do not know they're on Medicaid.
Some people may not realize.
They may not realize that they have Medicaid. And they think they've got free state insurance or this other stuff. They may not even realize they have Medicaid, and they are going to be SOL, man.
SOL.
Yes. SOL.
We all know what that means.
You know, they're going to be SOL. But you know what? That horrible human lady who was up on the podium yesterday talking about how I think she's from Homeland Security. She's not Christy. She's another horrible human. At least Christy can fake a smile. This woman, no. She said that people on Medicaid that they are not going to stop doing ice sweeps of farms. Yeah, didn't matter what the president said. She said yesterday they are not going to stop doing sweeps of farms, and those workers could be replaced with people who are on Medicaid, and that's how they can pay for their Medicaid. She said it. She said it. Oh my God, she said it. She stood right there at a podium, okay, with a microphone and everything.
You can work and be on Medicaid. It has to do.
Most people on Medicaid work.
That's right, because you can work. And they do work, and
because they have to make a living.
Depending on where your income falls.
Medicaid is about insurance.
That's
it's
right.
not about
That's
making a living.
That's
you don't make any money off of Medicaid, you dummies.
And a lot of people with really decent paying jobs have children and put their children on Medicaid because they get more coverage.
Well, they get more coverage, but they qualify. Okay, they qualify.
It just depends.
Depends on the kids. Depends on how many.
Just depends.
You know?
It just depends, guys. So I'm not getting into the insurance nightmare because it makes my head hurt and I don't get it. And I don't even read my own EOBs, guys. I don't even read my own EOBs. I was
reading last night on, I forgot what show I was watching, and it was about Medicaid, and it was about the replacement for Medicaid. Mm-hmm. Georgia has a program. Mm-hmm. Georgia's program is called Pathways.
Yep.
So they have this guy who is actually the face of Georgia Pathways.
I think it used to be Peach State when I worked there. I think it was called Peach State because the health system I worked for didn't take it for a while. Mm-hmm. They stopped taking Peach State. And there was another one too, started with a W that was there, but it was another form of Medicaid. But go ahead.
Yeah, so this is the one, this is Georgia's replacement for Medicaid, all right? And so to be on this, you have to have a job, you have to have a certain income, and you have to renew it every month. A month. You have to renew it every month.
Oh,
and you have to prove, all right, that you have to upload, okay? And that's what they were saying about this program. You have to upload all of your work.
Like your pay stubs and things.
Yes, your pay stubs and everything else. You have to upload to the system every month. Wow. Every month you have to prove that you qualify for this. And so...
because it's so great.
People are saying that this is going to be, the replacement for Medicaid.
Horrible.
All right? So this is a program that they're touting is going to be the replacement for Medicaid. So this guy, who's a small business owner, okay, in Georgia, was the face of it, and he's talking about how, this is how he gets insurance, and everything is great, and everything, and then now, after having it, and because of the having to qualify every month, which is insane, by the way, a month flies. How do you even remember to do that? Okay, he's lost his insurance a couple of times, because
when you file it, you upload it, then they get it, then when they receive it, then they work on it, then they approve it or disapprove it, and by that point, it's expired.
And they say, actually, that is the point.
That is the
point of the paperwork. That's the point of the paperwork with Medicaid.
They're like, if you want it bad enough, you'll do it, right? Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how they think about it.
If you want it bad, so that's, and they said, well, you know what? That's not a glitch. It's the point. All right, it's to stop you from getting it.
Yeah, make it harder and harder.
Make it harder and harder.
Harder and harder.
And Hillary, just recently, this week, actually, after this bill was passed and everything else, she said that besides the pain is the point. She didn't say that, but the gist of it was that she said, what people have to understand is that they do not think you deserve it. Mm-hmm. You don't deserve health care. You don't deserve SNAP. You don't deserve free lunch. You don't deserve school loans. You don't deserve any of this stuff.
Yeah, you're not worthy, guys.
You're not worthy. If you can't afford it, you don't deserve it.
You shouldn't have it.
And so therefore,
they can't afford to eat.
They want you to be the permanent underclass. That's my words, not hers.
No.
All right, that's my words. My words are, she said that they don't find you deserving. Those are her words. All right, they don't find you deserving. All right, my words are, they want you to be the permanent underclass. That's what they want. Okay.
And my words are, they think you ain't shit.
They want you to be the servers, and they want to be the served.
That's right.
And that's it.
That's it.
That's it. And if y'all ain't figured that shit out yet, y'all need to. Okay? And you need to go get yourself a hot toddy and take a nap. And wake up and start calling everybody that you can think of to call. Get your asses out there with a sign in protest. I got a new sign that I haven't made. I was going to bring it, but I haven't written it yet. All right? And my sign, I got a new sign.
You were going to bring it?
I was going to bring it, but I didn't write it yet. I was gonna put it up, so it could be like this. All right, I was gonna do that, and I might do it next week. All right, but it's gonna say, ICE, my dick is bigger than yours.
Okay. What did I say? Still not scripted. Still not polished. Still not.
That's gonna be my new sign, because you see what they're doing. You see what they did in MacArthur Park in California. Go check it out on YouTube.
Yeah.
All right. You see what they're doing?
It's a show, guys.
It's
a fucking show, and it's a horrific show.
Governor Newsom said it's theater.
It's theater. It's absolute theater.
So that's gonna be my new sign. I may take it to on Saturday. I may do that. Is it Saturday? The 17th?
Nope. We're not there yet.
I keep saying it's 17th, but it's not.
It's not
Anyway,
on Saturday.
no.
So we'll get there.
We'll get there. So
do you want to break down how we got here? Do you want to take a few minutes and break that down? You little historian, you.
I don't know if I really want to break that down as much as I want to say this.
You're my John Meacham.
As much as I want to say this. First of all, you heard about this UFC bullshit?
Oh, God, help us.
That the White House actually posted a picture of the White House, and have you seen what they've done to the Rose Garden again? Again.
I know. Rose at that. In our name.
The disrespect to the Kennedys is beyond repair.
Disrespect
it is
to roses.
disrespect.
What?
To the Kennedys.
And to the roses.
Taking over Donald Trump. No matter what you freaking do, you will never live up to the Kennedys. Ever. Robert Jr. does not live up to the Kennedys. Never. This is Massachusetts, asshole. The Kennedys are freaking royalty. You will never live up to that.
And not everybody from Massachusetts feels that way.
They don't. Not everybody does.
I still will claim the Kennedys and all their bullshit.
Okay.
I will.
Well,
I like a little bullshit.
They're people.
I like a little.
They're people.
I like a little conspiracy.
But they are
like
actually
a little murder.
American royalty.
Like a little people off the page.
Okay. That's Martha's Vineyard law. All right, so they are, okay? They are. And you will never live up to that, Donald Trump. You will never live up to it because you're a freaking piece of shit, and you will never live up to that. And you know you're trailer trash. You know it. You are white trailer trash.
And I know you're watching.
Somebody's going to tell you that stupid bitch from Martha's Vineyard
and her brown sister. And they're coming to get her.
With a sign in the yard.
And when she gets sun, she's going to be darker than me. So then what? Then what? I'm going to be like, take her, she's darker. Take her.
There's a sign in the yard that says, fight fascism.
Resist fascism.
We should say fight. This freaking big. All right.
It's at her house, though.
She just threw me under the bus.
I did buy it, though.
She bought it.
I know. So the receipt. I'm a accomplice. I'm an accessory.
Complicit.
I'm complicit and accessory to the crime and all that other good shit.
All right. So, and he takes over the Kennedy Center. He destroys the Rose Garden. He put his stupid ass picture between two first ladies. All right.
That's what I was talking about.
You said presidents.
I thought they were.
No.
But I said it was in the White House.
Yeah.
But that's what I was thinking of.
Yes.
Yeah, it was Laura Bush.
It was Laura Bush.
That's right. Now you brought it up because I said earlier there was between two people that were prominent.
Yes.
I did say prominent.
It was first ladies.
Okay, they were first ladies. Yes. And then Yes. Yes.
Yes.
What the fuck?
First ladies, because apparently he also wants to be queen.
Because he's a biatch.
He also wants to be queen. He's a snowflake and he wants to be queen.
Aww. He only wears his thongs on Tuesdays.
That is a disgusting visual.
I know, but
so,
every visual.
So he wants to put this UFC thing, all right, at the White House and have this UFC championship, as he calls it, as a celebration of our 250th year as a country that he's destroying. All right, celebration.
UFC fight
because we stand for UFC fight.
Because who doesn't want that? I mean, that security is going to be a nightmare.
Yeah, over 10,000 people.
Oh man, what are you doing? What are you doing? This is not Vegas.
I don't even care.
This is not. I mean, yeah.
I don't care. I don't care about his security. I don't.
Oh, I don't care about his security. I just know it's going to be a shit show, and I'm hoping for it.
They were following James Comey around.
Yep.
There's a story today in the New York Times.
Yep.
About them tracking his phone because he had the audacity to put 8647, a picture of it on, social media. 8647 does not mean kill.
Just means
86.
take you out, right?
When you 86 somebody or something,
You've been 86.
you've been 86. That just means you're out.
So you should have put 187. I think that's the harder one.
Not me. 8647. And now they followed him around. They talked to him. They followed him around. They tracked his phone. They treated him like he was an actual threat, and they knew better.
Oh,
They
yeah.
knew
Oh,
he
yeah,
wasn't
right.
an actual threat. Okay? So now the DOJ announces that he's under investigation, and so is Mr. Brennan.
My guy, John Brennan.
Mr. Brennan from the Brennan
I
was it
love
Center?
Brennan. I love
Brennan
Brennan.
Center?
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
John.
He is so freaking smart, and which Trump can't stand because he's
Well,
not.
you can't stand anybody who's smart. He's
'Cause
always
he's
been
not.
the dumbest one in the room.
Because he's not. I mean, seriously, did you see him with the president of Liberia today, telling him what pretty English he speaks? You know. Yeah, he's an embarrassment. What are you gonna do? I could tell you, but then they'd have to put me in jail.
That's right.
Yeah. So, yeah. So this is where we are. Why are we here?
Yes.
Why are we?
here?
We are here.
Why are we here?
Okay, so let's just be for real. We're here because we never finished the Civil War. Because we never should have just said, oh, let's just love and kiss our brothers. We should have prosecuted, all right? We should have prosecuted people for treason. We should not have just integrated everybody back into society because that is not what happened, all right? We pretended that all the white people were happy with and were going to go along with the program, but they didn't. They just started killing black people behind the scenes. All right? So we went from the Civil War, we went to the Klan. I have a list. I have a list. Yeah, I do. I have a list. So we went from the Klan to Jim Crow. Then we kind of made it to civil rights, the civil rights movement, where more people died. Voting rights, where more people died. Equal rights for all men, not women, because some equal rights came in the 70s for women, which were reproductive rights and health care for women, but we still were not equal. We're not equal to this day. We still don't have an amendment in the Constitution for us. At every freaking turn, all right, Republican presidents gave millionaires tax cuts and bennies, because most millionaires were white. So that's how they had, all right, well, they're going to get some rights, so we're just going to give you more money. All right? That's how they tried to balance it, everything, you know, by letting women and people of color rise a little bit, so we're going to give white people more money.
That's right.
Okay? So, and they were always white. Well, at that time. Not now, but at that time. And actually not even at that time. There were black millionaires, but, you know, that was before Jim Crow jumped in and took everything. So then Reagan happened. All right. So Reagan is like this shining on the hill, lights on the hill, and all this other bullshit. Because when Reagan happened, the Heritage Foundation had been formed in 1973. The Heritage Foundation doesn't like black people. And they don't like government. Unless they're in charge of it. All right? And so they gave Reagan a whole bunch of things to do in regards to foreign policy and everything else. And he implemented 60% of what they gave him. Okay, but he also implemented some other shit that was really bad for the country, like a tax on Social Security, because they were still whittling away at the New Deal and Social Security and anything that would give us a safety net and security, right?
You said the Heritage Foundation didn't like white people.
They don't like white people. I personally think.
The Heritage. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I personally think the Heritage Foundation is an extension of the Klan. I can't prove that at the moment. If
So why
I
don't
did
they
some
like
digging,
white people if they're extension of the Klan?
because I'm sorry, black people.
Okay.
Yeah, I
You
apparently
lost me there. Okay. She meant black people.
I meant black people. I'm sorry, people of color, not white people.
Do you want water?
No, I don't.
Counteract that
I
bourbon?
don't. I have a sore throat.
I like people. They
there
don't
you
like
go.
black people.
All right. So Reagan fired all the air traffic controllers. And so he is the beginning of the end for what we've got going on now, because nobody subsequently would fix the problem that happened from them, from the 80s. Okay? So, and I must say, Reagan's second term, he had Alzheimer's. All right? And they all knew he had Alzheimer's, and they let him operate anyway. All right? Now, I know they put up safety guards, and I know Nancy protected him, all right, and everything else, but he had Alzheimer's. All right? And it was bad.
Yeah.
Okay? And he should not have been in office. All right? The same thing with Dementia Donnie right now. He should not be in office.
Adderall Dawn.
He is
Adderall Dawn.
unfit. He is completely unfit. And the only way to get rid of him is to impeach him or Amendment 25 him, and they're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. So,
I didn't do anything.
you are so going to get us in trouble. All right. Also, let's remember that Reagan made a behind-the-scenes deal with Iran because of the hostage situation. Now, I'm old enough to remember that. All right.
Oh, I love it when people say that. I'm old enough to remember.
I am old enough to remember the Iran taking the hostages, American hostages, from the embassy. Okay. Jimmy Carter was in office. Jimmy Carter did the negotiating. Jimmy Carter did a disastrous attempt at rescue. That was a disaster. I don't know who came up with that plan. All right. But he was in charge, and he took the hit for it. I don't know who came up with the plan, crashing hell. It was a hella mess. Let me just say that. But he negotiated, but he didn't make a deal. He didn't make a deal because Reagan was behind the scenes undermining him, saying, don't make a deal with Carter, make a deal with me, and I'll make a better deal. And so they didn't make a deal. All right? So, dirty, man. Dirty, dirty, dirty. Republicans are dirty. They're just dirty. Okay? They're just dirty. They don't care about the country. They care about power. That's what they care about.
That is true.
All right? So, and Jimmy Carter's such a good man. Such a good man. All right? He lived long enough to vote for Kamala Harris.
Yep.
Okay? And to see the tragedy and the travesty that this country did to that woman. Okay? That's another show. All right. So, and everybody looks at Reagan, and it's like, how about we remember the shitty stuff he did, because there was plenty of it. All right? So, moving on. All right. Reagan was basically the beginning of the downfall of where we are now. He was the beginning of the end. He was. Okay? And so, we've got, trickle-down economics, really? Really?
Right.
It didn't work then. It's not going to work now. It's never going to work.
Never going to work.
Because they don't want it to work.
Nope.
They want the top class and the bottom class.
I just don't.
They don't want the middle class. This country was at its best economically when there was the highest taxes on the rich. When the highest taxes on, because the country worked in balance.
That's right.
The country worked in balance, and everybody made money. The thing is, they don't want everybody to make money. They don't want everybody to make money. So the Heritage Foundation had so much success with Reagan, they just kept going. All right? And right up until we get Trump. Heritage Foundation, when Trump was running the first time, they didn't want him. But they didn't never Trump, like the other think tanks did.
Right.
So when he was elected, they said, well, let us help you find the people to run the government because you're so stupid. You don't know anybody. And, yeah. So, let me just tell you, this is the people, okay? This is the people who had someone in charge, the Heritage Foundation, who wrote a paper on how Hispanics and blacks were, stupid. They did not have. They were not capable of intelligence. They would never assimilate into.
Right, they're not capable.
Yeah, they're not capable. And they wouldn't assimilate. And I'm like, assimilate into what? Into being white? I mean, you what? What do you want? what you meant was subservient. You didn't mean assimilate. You meant
bow
subservient.
down, yes.
They wouldn't be subservient, and
right.
so you had a problem with that, right?
That's right.
So they criticized immigration reform because the browning of America, and this was in 2013. This has been coming. This has been coming. So when Trump got elected the first time, they helped fill out his government. And in the meantime, they have been incorporating Trumpism into their foundation. Mm-hmm. So now what they have is they have completely become Trumpettes.
Oh, trumpets.
Trumpets. So you like that?
So cute.
I made that up.
Aw.
Yeah, trumpets.
So cute.
Yes, the white snowflakes. The white snowflake trumpets. Is that like
we gotta get a whole meme for
a
this.
a dance crew?
That sounds like a dance crew. Yeah,
the white snowflakes
with the trumpets.
Yeah. So now, all right, with this second regime, and they helped him get elected this time. Mm-hmm. This time they helped him get elected because they have a whole book, Project 2025, that they wanted implemented, and man, he is like. He's doing it all. Yep. He's doing it all. And basically what it does is destroy government, federal government, sends everything back to the states, hopes the states can't afford it, so people will die, because it's all about people dying because they don't think you deserve to live if you can't afford to live. And maybe they'll send you money. I've talked to you about this, and I've said it. We need to stop sending the federal government money. We do. And I think Maura Healey, being the legal whiz that she is, all right, Ms. Governor, she should be able to figure out a way to do it.
Well, if she can do it, I'm here for it.
Yep. So that's what we've got for our government. Now let's talk about what we have for our Supreme Court. What we have is a Supreme Court pact with Federalist Society. 5 out of the 9 justices are Federalist Society members or former members. Mm-hmm. Chief Justice Roberts, you want to hear about hypocrisy? Chief Justice Roberts served as a member of the steering committee of the D.C. chapter of the Federalist Society, but denies being a member. How do you deny being a member if you were like the head of the steering committee? How can you deny that because you didn't actually fill out a membership form?
Right.
And you didn't pay because you did that on purpose, so you never had to admit that you were a member. So you participated. It's kind of like being in the Gestapo without actually signing the pledge. Mm-hmm. Being in the Nazi party and you didn't wear the star.
Right.
Yeah. So it's kind of like that. All right. So what the Federalist Society believes in, interpreting the Constitution like it's still 1787. That's what they believe in. Okay. They make no room for 2025 and how far this country has come. 250 years, you dummies. Right. 250 years we've been here. So we should still be like 1797 or something.
Right.
I for reals. So
for reals.
That's my thing. For reals, whatever. For reals. Are you for reals? So I am I'm pretty disgusted with this whole thing. But now we've got Ketanji.
Yep.
Justice Jackson.
Sorry, Miss Jackson.
I was going to do the same thing.
I am for
Miss Jackson.
I never meant to make you cry.
Right?
Oh, Miss Jackson. Oh, so sorry. But I'm glad you're there.
Yes, because we need someone to tell the truth.
Somebody's got to talk.
Someone's got to tell the truth,
Someone's got to talk, so mine will be you.
And I'm sorry they're going after you right now because
they are.
You have 15-page dissent from their last catastrophe of allowing Trump to fire everybody and anybody he wants while it goes through the courts.
That's right.
Because you know what? If they win in the courts, do you think any of those people will be hired back? Of course not. That is the point of what they're doing.
That's right.
Okay? And I am very disappointed in Justice Kagan and in Justice Sotomayor.
Yeah, in this one, yes. Because she shouldn't have been solo.
No, she shouldn't have been solo for being congenial. All right, because you went with the semantics of the law instead of the overview and the effects of the law and the effects it would have on real people. Okay, and so what, you thought that you had to give them one? Is that what it is? You didn't think it was important enough because it's still going through the courts, but you weren't thinking ahead. Mm-hmm. All right, you were just trying to be congenial. Maybe you owed them one. I don't know.
We don't know what goes on.
We don't know what goes on, but you know what? Miss Jackson does, and that's the problem. That's why Amy went after her.
And she's talking in this 15-pager here, guys.
Miss Amy went after her.
And Amy Comey Barrett did go after her, but I'll put my money on Jackson.
Any day.
Any day.
And every day.
Every day. So you should read that. She is on one. She's not letting up, I don't think, and we need to support her, and we need to pay attention. And you mentioned Sheldon Whitehouse, who is what, Rhode Island, right?
Yes.
He's the Rhode Island.
He is the Supreme Court. He's always going after the Supreme Court because he feels that that they're out of control, and they have been for years.
And they are.
All right, they have been for years, and he fully supports what Justice Jackson did and her dissent, and he understands, and he even said he understands that the time for congeniality is gone because we are not living in normal times.
Right.
We are not living in normal times.
There is nothing normal.
No.
Nothing normal about this.
No. Somebody has to stand up. There have been some really horrible decisions through the years with the Supreme Court. I have a few. I have, how about Justice Oliver Wendell Holmes, okay, who supported in 1927 eugenics, all right, saying that people with disabilities could be sterilized. Okay. How about 1944, Korematsu versus U.S. internment camps? Okay. Chief Justice Black confirmed that that was okay. Citizens United. You know about Justice Roberts and that asinine call. Obama called him on that shit. All right. How about Bush v. Gore? All right, with Chief Justice Rehnquist.
Oh my God.
That was that was getting involved in an actual election.
Yep.
Okay. So what about the civil rights case of 1883? All right, which not many people know about, but it ushered in Jim Crow. So you might want to look that one up. And 1896, Plessy versus Ferguson.
They always talk about Plessy versus Ferguson.
As they should. Okay. But equal plus but separate. All right, and that was Chief Justice Melville Fuller. Okay, he oversaw that one. There's a lot of bad decisions out there from the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has probably hurt us more than helped us over the years. I mean, since Citizens United, we've got so many from this court. So many bad decisions from this court. Now, Roe is like the absolute worst decision. Citizens United was really horrible. Citizens United has ushered in all of this with the money. Roe has destroyed women's health, and women are dying because of it. And it says send it back to the states. You assholes knew what was going to happen. You knew women were going to die, and you didn't care. Okay, because women are nothing to you. All right, except second-class citizens for your pleasure and use. All right, and you would like them out of the workforce. You know, and, you know, this shit ain't going to happen because the country will stop working if we get out of the workforce, which, by the way, is an action that we may just have to take. All right, and I actually thought the country would rise up after the overturning of Roe and that the women would actually do something as a collective, but we can't even get all the women to vote for a woman because 50% of white women can't get their shit together. So, and that's my rant. I've been on a rant for a while.
And it's a long one. That was a long one.
You need to shut me up when I do that.
No. We need to talk. We need to get it out there. We need to get out there. I mean, I can dumb it down a little. Not what you're talking about, but the TSA. No more shoes, guys. You don't have to take your shoes off.
You don't have to take your shoes off.
Right. And you know what that really is? It's a fucking shiny distraction.
It is.
That's all it is.
That's all it is.
take your shoes off. Okay, bomb, Unabomber, the shoe bomber, whatever
Right?
the fuck it
The
was.
shoe bomber.
That we, now all of a sudden we have new scanners. And, oh, by the way, Christina, oh, yeah, we made a decision. We're so much better now. We don't have to take our shoes off.
Yeah,
okay.
but we got alligator Alcatraz.
Oh, but we get alligator Alcatraz.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all a shiny object, guys. That's all it is. We're supposed to be celebrating faster security lines now in the airports.
The planes that are going to crash.
While behind the scenes, right, I don't even want to fly. While behind the scenes, ICE is expanding. Okay. FEMA's disappearing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And people are getting swept out without due process.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's look over here while they burn the house down.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they're doing. So, listen, I'll just still take my fucking shoes off. Whatever. Because they can decide, hey, I think I need you to. So, it's not for everyone. It's for who they decide.
Yep.
Because they can say, oh, we want to search you more.
They're
Take your
still
shoes
going to
off.
single people
They're
out.
just going to single people out. It's not, listen, man. If you think that was my biggest hiccup at the airport, it wasn't. My feet are always clean. My pedicure is always done. I don't give two shits about those goddamn shoes. I always wear shoes that I can slip on, slip off, or whatever if I got to do. I'm not worried about that, man. I'm not worried about that. I am worried about the idiots on the plane who get drunk and try to cause havoc on the plane. That's my biggest fear. Is that I'm going to be on a plane when somebody decides that they want to yell at somebody for being overweight and start abusing them and physically and shit on planes. Like, I don't want nothing to do with that shit. If I can drive there, goddamn it, I'm gonna drive there.
We have no civility anymore.
It's horrible. It's just absolutely
no
horrible.
civility.
So I mean, it all matters. I mean, I know we're going overtime again.
We can't help it. I'm sorry.
It does all matter. It does all matter. We broke down a few things. We got some education out there on some things. We know that the Massachusetts chapter of the AAP, which is the American Academy of Pediatrics, and the Society for Maternal Fetal Medicine are suing RFK Jr., as they should, over his vaccine policy proposal.
Foolishness.
Okay, because it's not politics, it's science. Okay, and
he don't know shit about science.
Right, and he's literally, harming pregnant women and children, and when medical professionals start going to court, that shit matters. Because they're not trying to do that. They're not trying to do that. They're too busy trying to save lives, damn it. They don't have time to be bullshitting with you guys. And here they are,
Yep.
So, so the final take on all of this is that this isn't just neglect. Okay? It's deliberated. It's a deliberate unraveling of institutions.
Yes.
Science, safety, and truth. Okay? If ICE is the new national police,
Yep.
and FEMA disappears, what the fuck happens when the next storm comes through or the next protest rises? What's going to happen? We're all in this storm, whether you realize it or not. And I know on the island here, we feel a little like, oh,
isolated.
Isolated. Oh, it doesn't really
Protected.
Bullshit.
Kind of protected.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
I call bullshit. I mean, we got to pay attention to it. Just because you don't see it in your face every day, all day, doesn't mean it's not happening. It is happening. And we're not alarmists. We're just here to talk about it. That's all. Like it or not.
I'm an alarmist. I want you to get you off your ass. I want a fire under your ass. I want you moving. National Police.
I want Abbott off the cliff. Yep. I said it again.
She's dead.
I don't care. I don't care. He's a horrible.
He is a horrible person.
This is Texas. You got to do better, guys.
He's
you
not
live
worse
there,
than
you better
Trump.
do better. No, he's not.
He's not worse
because
than
he's
Trump.
not in that position.
He's
but
not
you don't
worse
know
than
what he
Trump.
would do. We don't know what anybody would do.
No.
And we don't know really where we go from here, except we got one more call to action that we know about, which is July 17th, next Thursday. That is in good trouble in John Lewis's name.
Yep.
And that's when you need to get out there. If you are not able to protest, call, or do whatever, then talk to people, make a stand, say something. Just
Put up
try
signs,
not to be
do
quiet.
something.
Just try not to be quiet.
Let people know where you stand.
That's right. That's right. So
we're not quiet.
We're definitely not quiet.
We're not quiet.
We're definitely not quiet.
We're not quiet. Yep.
And some of these days are more jovial and more lighthearted than others. But
we try to keep it balanced.
For the most part, we got a nice
do.
history lesson here. My John Meacham.
I'm sorry. I know.
Don't be sorry.
I just
Don't be
went
sorry.
on and on.
Nope.
And I didn't even tell you half of what I had.
Right.
So it's
She
like
had more.
I had more, and I stopped
tuned.
myself. But we do need to talk more about the National Police, and we will.
And we will. And we'll get more about that because that's only getting worse.
It
it's
is.
only getting worse. And who's training these guys? Where's this stuff coming from? like they're just getting hired and getting out there and doing this stuff. Like they can conduct investigations. They're doing raids. They're doing. I mean, they're at soccer games. They were at the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I mean, they were everywhere. They're there.
And
they're like, hey, we're not here to defer you from coming, but if you're really not
but
American,
you need to
make
bring
sure
papers.
you need to bring your papers,
you
guys.
need to bring your papers.
I don't know about you, but I walk around with my passport. Never. I mean,
you know who?
Jesus freaking Christ.
They will know an American because the American's going to punch him in the face.
Yeah.
I'm
not giving you shit.
That's what's going to happen.
I'm not giving you shit.
You say, really? Really, bitch? Come on.
Yeah.
I'm
not giving you shit.
That's not going to happen.
Nope.
No. So,
I'm not giving you shit.
We're not going to acquiesce.
No, we are not.
We are not.
So stay tuned for WTF Wednesday, episode 13. More to come, guys.
Yes.
And so for that, we are out.
We are out
today. As usual.
As usual.
Bye now.